Hello. You are tuning into the episode of The Wunderkind Show. Today's second topic, Zay Flowers talks about his wide receiving brethren and core. Look. Eventually, you already knew that these questions were going to come up. Why? The questions about, how does Zay and them feel being the wide receiver for the Ravens, hearing all the hate, hearing all the doubt, trying to make themselves elite while playing with, a running quarterback in Lamar Jackson, and now being even more run dominant with a Derrick Henry. You understand where I'm coming from? So I believe it was Good Morning Football had got a little snippet of what Zay had to say. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play that audio, then we're going to break it down, all right? So without further ado, let's go see what Mr. Zay Flowers had to say about the receiving core and how they're viewed by the public.
Andrews, and now you've got Likely, and you've got Kohler, and you've got Derrick Henry in the backfield, and Justice Hill. It's always like the receivers are like the last ones mentioned, and yet you guys are having quite a season as well. What's it like inside that room? Maybe not given the national love of other wide receivers and maybe wide receiver groups that you hear about from 31 other teams.
I mean, we passionate about it because, it's like a thing going around saying the Ravens don't have receivers and this and that, but y'all don't have Derrick Henry, so let's see what y'all do if y'all got Derrick Henry.
The ultimate
So we got to run the ball because we got him. We always had a good rushing game, so it's like you always got to balance it out. And if your rushing game good, you just got to keep going with what you winning you the games.
So you heard what he said. He said that if the rushing game is good, you got to keep going with what wins you the game. Meaning, look, if we're running the ball and we're winning games, at the end of the day, that's what matters most. And look, it takes a lot for guys to buy in, right? Because at the end of the day, they're judged, especially receivers, on your numbers. You noticed how when the Bills went to a run-dominant offense and they couldn't get Stephon Diggs the ball as much anymore, all of a sudden, he was aging. He wasn't as good. He wasn't as dynamic. He was expendable. That's why. Because every NFL player understands that the NFL stands for not for long. And all of them, in the grand scheme of things, are expendable. So for those receivers, it's hard, right? Man, I'll never act like I don't know it's not hard. Of course it's hard. You're on a team that can run the ball extremely well, historically great, right? For a franchise that believes more than anything into running the ball. So they're like the ugly stepchild, the ugly redheaded stepchild, you know what I'm saying, in this equation. But here's the thing. Zay Flowers is actually playing really good. And he's having a pretty darn good season, and so is Bateman. Both of them together, I believe, is on pace together for about 1,900 yards, something like that, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to look it back up. But that's something that needs to be talked about more. And I get the frustration, because mind you, I already told you this. I said Nelson Aguilar to me is a good fourth receiver. He is not a third receiver to me. You understand where I'm coming from? I wanted us to have a trio of good to great wide receivers. It gives you flexibility. If somebody goes down with an injury, since injuries always happens to us, right? It just gives us that much more ammo and that much more, integrity to the wide receiving core. That's not crazy to say. Two things can be right at the same time. Do I believe in Zay Flowers? Yes. Do I think he's going to be good or great one day? Yes. Is he good? Is he at least good right now? Yes. Is he projected to be great? Yes. Does that mean that I'm gonna rule out trying to get Devontae Adams? No. No. Does that mean we're gonna rule out getting D-Hop? No. Like, what are we talking about? Just because, listen, if we had one good pass rusher, let me break it down in Raven layman terms. If you had one good pass rusher, and he's amazing, and you had a chance to get a pass rusher on the other side, you're telling me you wouldn't do it? Because with the Ravens, you have to break everything down defensively. That's like the only way even some of the fans understand things. Offensively, it's like it going. That's what it sounds like to them when you're talking offense. But when he talks to defense, it becomes a smooth talker like, ooh yeah, you're watching Love 98.7 hits all night long. That's what it sounds like to them. Smooth. So that's the reason why, like, I understand the frustration that it must be to be a professional at the highest level and want to be respected and want people to believe in you. But you have to understand something, and I'm being real with you. The Ravens have historically not picked well from the wide receiver position. There's just too much history. And that's why these receivers are bearing the burden of that more than ever before, because now we have a quarterback that can truly be, we're not talking about, oh, he's good right now. Lamar Jackson is on pace to be one of the top 5 greatest quarterbacks to ever play the league. Not, oh, greatest running quarterback, greatest quarterbacks to ever play in the league. Him and Patrick Mahomes are going to supplant a lot of people on the Mount Rushmore of this game. You know you got Brady. You know you got Joe Cool, right? No, we're not talking about Burrow. You know we're talking about the guy out there in 49ers world, right? You got Unitas. You got Peyton, right? Now, and you got Breeze. You got Favre. And now you got Peyton and Lamar. Like, Patrick Mahomes right now is already a top 3 quarterback, at the lowest, a top 5 quarterback of all time. He can retire right now. The man got 3 titles, 2 MVPs, 5,000-yard passing season, 50 passing touchdowns in the season. Like, he's solidified already. Lamar solidified Hall of Fame-wise, but I'm talking about on the Mount Rushmore. And we have that type of guy finally. So now we got to try to make this receiving corps as up to par as possible. Because now we have someone that can make the best use of them. You know, and I heard somebody say it before, our best player was Ray Lewis. So you know what they did? They built around their best player. They got him the greatest safety of all time. They got him Haloti. They got him Suggs. And corners and stuff like that. Because that was their best player. Their best player is now on offense. It's a culture shift. And it's hard on Zay and them. And I don't make it much easier, right? Because I point out certain things. But it makes no mistake about it. Zay Flowers is on pace to be a number 1 receiver. I still believe that we can go with another guy and make it a 3-headed monster. Just like you have 3-headed monsters going to be coming back for the running back crew and a 3-headed monster at the tight end crew. Why can't we have a 3-headed monster at the wide receiving crew? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. But what do you guys think? Do you agree with Zay Flowers? Do you guys think, like, look, our receiving core is good and, we run it a lot because, let's be real, we have Derrick Henry on the team. Let me know what you think about it down in the comment section, please. Because I know this is kind of a touchy subject with a lot of Raven fans and a lot of stuff that we're going through. You know what I mean? But it's always, that's an episode of The Wunderkind Show! Thank you for watching. Y'all know how we get down. We have fun and we laugh. But everything we talk about, we do what? Facts and truth. Before we go any further, I want to give a shout out because there was somebody that did a donation. And I want to make sure that I shout them out. Terry Douglas donated a massive $20 donation to the monkey with me. Woo! Nah, thank you so much. Man, guys, I'm loving that you guys are supporting the channel. You know, we're trying to build this thing the right way. Putting away for another camera and stuff like that. It's not easy, sorry. But we're trying and we're pushing forward, regardless of the storms, regardless of anything. I love you guys. Thank you so much for entrusting your hard-earned money and putting it into this channel. I want to make sure that you understand that. Thank you. So big shout outs to you, Mr. Douglas. Much love. You know what I'm saying? And if you haven't checked it out already, check out the Wonder Kid Show's Patreon. Yes, 3 tiers of content goodness waiting for your consumption. Give it a look, give it a try. Let me know what you think. And if you'd like to donate to this channel, help out with equipment like you saw Mr. Douglas do, right? Bottom of the screen, QR code. QR code's to a Cash App. Cash App located in the description of every video that we do. Name of it is money sign, The Wonder Kid Show. Super easy. But once again, this is The Wonder Kid Show. This show is signing off, and as always, you know my slogan. Peace. And I am out of here. Huh? Yeah.
Finish him, Daddy.
Yeah.